Culture refers to the ideas, customs, and social behavior of a particular people or society. To make things interesting, culture has its roots dug deep. Our fathers, grandfathers, and great-grandfathers met these things, and as posterity have passed them down to us. The question though is it okay for my Christian convictions to be altered by culture? Welcome to another episode of ASQ. Let's lay foundation to what our Christian convictions are. Our convictions as Christians are things that we uphold, value, and treasure as believers. These things guide our outlook to life and how we live life. It shows up in our daily routine and in our responses and our dispositions and in our everyday life. Now, there's no separation between our convictions birthed from our life with God and how we live. It is intertwined. These convictions that we hold, however, is found in the scripture. Take Africa, for example. Culture is a big part of how we live. Culture is beautiful just until it begins to look unlike the things that we stand for and represent. To have a culture, you must belong to a people. The people you identify with belong to a kingdom, and the kingdom has a ruling entity, the king. So take, for example, the Yorubas. It is said that they come from Oduduwa. As much as we have varying states and sub-traditions, you can trace back the similarities between the varying states to a central point. That is why traditions between Western Nigerian states would overlap. Now, as a believer, you belong to a kind of people who is submitted or who are submitted under the lordship of Jesus with our chief commander, God. We are bound to the things that instruct and practice the culture of our people. Ephesians 2:19 says, "Now therefore you are no longer strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and members of the household of God." As a believer, your life with God should come first, before cultural expectations and traditions. Our life with God then determines what we can or can't do as regards our culture. Culture is beautiful again and should be celebrated so long as it doesn't contradict the life that we are called to live as believers. Case in point, say there's a big festival that is carried out in your village yearly. Your family has to be there. However, one of the traditions for that festival is that you dance with some masquerade, bath with a kind of water gotten from a certain river, in honor of an ancestral god. As a believer, what do? You can't be found in such gatherings because you cannot serve two masters. You cannot pay homage to two masters. Another argument could be, well, it's only just a festival. After the festival, get it done. Forget about it. No, dear. It's not just a festival. This festival will breach your allegiance to God as your Lord. You cannot worship another god. That is, you cannot pay homage to another god. But then if you're about to get wedded and have a traditional wedding, say your people wear a certain kind of fabric to identify where you're from and all of that. Now this is something you can do. This is a part of tradition and culture that you can do. In fact, make a beautiful style from it and look beautiful. This does not contradict what you represent in any way. Another question, that's what my culture requires. I must do it. This is what is obtainable in my culture. As long as it contradicts the things that the Lord has instructed us to do as believers, you cannot do it. Remember, you have been called to practice the culture that the citizens of Zion practice. The moment culture alters the things you stand for as a believer, it becomes a no-go area. Navigating through this, however, will be different for different individuals, but then it still stands that nothing you do must contradict your life with Jesus. Now, to what extent do we practice culture? The answer is, we practice culture to the extent to which it honors God. I'm so glad you watched to the end. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Until the next episode, God bless you, and remember to live your life with eternity in view.